Welcome to Catalan News. Ping-Pong, that's what the Catalan and Spanish government seem to be playing right now. If yesterday the Catalan president suspended a declaration of independence in an attempt to seek dialogue, today the Spanish one asked for clarification. He warned that if independence was, even for a second, actually declared, it might strip Catalonia of its self-government. Meanwhile, while Barcelona insists on the need for international mediation, Madrid says no way. Here at Catalan News, we've got all the details about this. Let's start. The ball was in Madrid's court today, and the Spanish government did not budge an inch from its usual strategy. The Catalan referendum is illegal, any attempt to break Spain's unity is illegal, and dialogue can only be regained within the framework of the Spanish constitution and without any foreign intervention. Its frontal opposition to even put the issue of a referendum on the table prompted accusations that it will make things even worse. And, in fact, despite Carles Puigdemont's offer for dialogue, Rajoy's government opened the door today to suspending Catalan self-government.
Article 155 is coming. The article of the Spanish Constitution that allows the suspension of Catalan self-rule is now a step closer. This is what the Spanish president made clear today in a statement after his extraordinary cabinet meeting. Mariano Rajoy announced that his government is to formally ask the Catalan president if he effectively declared independence yesterday. This is an essential step towards taking full control of Catalonia.
Este requerimiento, previo a cualquiera de las medidas que el Gobierno puede adoptar al amparo del artículo 155 de nuestra Constitución, pretende ofrecer a los ciudadanos la claridad y la seguridad que requiere una cuestión de tanta importancia.
It implies that if Puigdemont says yes, even if immediately suspending independence afterwards, Madrid is likely to apply the Article 155 in the coming days. Taking over government, dissolving the parliament, and taking full control of police and finances would be some of the implications. Mariano Rajoy made a speech later in the day in parliament. He said that there is no possibility for mediation because Catalonia is being disobedient.
Pero no hay mediación posible entre la ley democrática y la desobediencia o la ilegalidad.
Rajoy also insisted on his official request prior to a potential suspension of the Catalan autonomy. The Socialists and Ciudadanos party support him in any measures he might take. Left-wing Podemos is the only major party asking for dialogue between both the Spanish and Catalan governments. This means the executive has the support of more than 2/3 of the upper and lower chambers in parliament.
The Spanish government is giving Catalan President Puigdemont 5 days to confirm if he has or has not declared independence, and 3 to rectify. If not, a suspension of Catalan autonomy might begin. On this, Rajoy has the support of the 2 main opposition parties, the Socialists and the Ciudadanos. In exchange for that, however, the Socialists got a compromise to study reform of the Constitution. The Socialist leader, Pedro Sánchez, said that the People's Party is willing to create a parliamentary commission for constitutional reform. However, both parties oppose granting Catalans the right of self-determination, and while one favors federalism, the other is more inclined to a major centralization of powers. So it's not yet clear whether a change in the Carta Magna, if it actually happens, would help solve the Catalan situation. While the Spanish government does not react to the offer for dialogue coming from Catalonia, the decision to put the independence declaration on hold is also taking a toll on the balance of power in Barcelona. Radical left pro-independence CUP is not happy with the suspension of the declaration, and although they accepted to wait for about a month, Madrid's refusal for international mediation and dialogue on independence threatens to break unity on the yes front.
After President Puigdemont's long-awaited speech at the Catalan parliament, the Spanish government rapidly made it clear that the ball is in the Catalan government's court again. Puigdemont will now have to clarify whether independence was declared or not. His dilemma, the answer that will make Madrid happy, will very likely backfire and raise criticism from his allies. The anti-capitalist CUP is the only partner of the pro-independence ruling coalition. Yesterday, they were not happy with having the declaration of independence suspended, and are already setting conditions for the Catalan government.
Demanem, com a mínim, que s'estableixi un límit en aquest període obert de negociacions. La CUP l'establiria, el trobaria normal en, com a molt, un mes. Cal fixar un límit.
CUP, which is essential for pro-independence parties to hold a majority of seats, will decide whether its MPs will leave the parliament until the push for independence goes ahead. In the meantime, the Catalan government will very likely continue to look for international mediators who can step in and pressure the Spanish government to reach a compromise.
Maybe it could help dialogue if two people...
Puigdemont suggested today that a starting point could be for two representatives of each government to agree on a mediator. So far, pro-independence organizations have stood beside Puigdemont's strategy, thus granting him the continued support in the streets.
El president Puigdemont li ha tocat gestionar d'una manera molt complexa una situació d'una gran pressió per part de líders polítics internacionals que li han implorat, li han requerit la necessitat d'obrir un espai, donar temps mort a un diàleg.
However, the leaders of pro-independence organizations have other things to worry about as well. The Spanish National Court summoned them to testify again in the case where they are being investigated for sedition. The head of the Catalan police has also been called.
The Catalan government has asked for international mediation in order to solve the current stalemate. But in Brussels today, the European Commission did not offer a helping hand. Many members of the European Parliament, however, think more should be done on a European level to find a solution.
The Commission is following closely the situation in Spain and reiterates its earlier call for full respect of the Spanish constitutional order.
We can speak now here at Catalan News with the former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Slovenia, Ivo Vajgl, who is also an MEP in Brussels. Mr. Vajgl, thank you very much for being with us today, and good evening.
Good evening.
What were your impressions after the speech by the Catalan President Carles Puigdemont and the reaction coming from Madrid?
I think the speech was built upon the wisdom and the responsibility. So I think also that the offer to postpone the formal declaration of independence was correct and was oriented towards the possibility to have a dialogue of all political forces from Madrid to Barcelona. I am not sure that the answer of the government in Madrid was a proper one.
Why are you not sure? Some suggest they are opening the door to the suspension of the Catalan self-government.
Well, I am more sure, maybe I can say I am sure that it was not a right answer. And it was even not a responsible answer. Because when the dialogue is needed, you cannot humiliate your partner, you cannot threaten, and you cannot speak about the repression and the repressive measures. Dialogue means speaking to each other, exchange the argument, and find the solution.
Many analysts are saying that the suspension of the Declaration of Independence from Catalonia follows the example of your country, Slovenia. Do you think there are lessons to be learned?
Maybe. Every story is a specific one, and you cannot just copy-paste the experience. But I think that the strategy of Slovenian leadership was the right one, and it was always oriented to the offer of good and friendly relations, and to offer to dialogue about a solution which will be acceptable for everybody.
Do you think that after this situation, a European country might be willing to recognize Catalonia if it officially declares independence?
I cannot say it. I cannot say it before the facts are not happening. But I would say that Slovenian public opinion strongly supports the right of every European nation to self-determination.
Thank you, Mr. Vajgl.
You're welcome.
Let's move now to another angle of this story, because calls for dialogue coming from Catalonia and some European countries come at a point in which Spanish police has started to take control of Catalan police, the Mossos d'Esquadra, in certain operations. For example, in the security of the high courts. Today, the Catalan police union said that measures taken exceptionally to guarantee security after the Barcelona attacks and during the October 1st referendum should be eased, and warned that they have always behaved with the utmost professionality, keeping the public safe and avoiding civil unrest. Spanish judges, however, are investigating the courts for being too passive during the independence referendum, unlike, they said, the Spanish riot police, which halted voting in several polling stations in an intervention that caused outrage across the world. In fact, Catalan police had a very important role yesterday in Catalonia when a huge security operation was deployed to avoid tension in front of Parliament, where the Catalan president was expected to declare independence. Although he finally put the declaration on hold, the day was very tense in Barcelona. Our colleagues have prepared this report about the unfolding of events.
Guards surround the Catalan parliament, restricting access. Expectations are high. After Monday's ban attempt, these days, parliament plenary will see President Carles Puigdemont unveil whether he will declare independence or not. Rumors are that Madrid is planning a violent takeover, even to arrest Puigdemont. More than 1,000 journalists, local and international, are setting up. This is the most media the parliament has ever seen. Carles Puigdemont arrives. As he is seen walking the parliament halls, expectations rise even more. The plenary session is unexpectedly delayed for an hour. Puigdemont is rumoured to be speaking to other parliamentary groups or even international entities about his decision. The MPs and media aren't the only ones waiting, with people gathered all through the country to hear what Catalonia's future is. In Barcelona, thousands are ready to watch in a central location near Parliament. Not to mention those following the speech on TV. 1.6 million people, or 52% of the people in Catalonia watching television, are now tuned into Puigdemont's upcoming speech. The bell announcing the Parliament session rings and MPs come in. Finally, the Catalan president enters and begins his speech.
Assumeixo en presentar-los els resultats del referèndum davant de tots vostès i davant dels nostres conciutadans el mandat del poble que Catalunya esdevingui un estat independent en forma de república. Això és el que avui fem amb tota solemnitat per responsabilitat i per respecte. I amb la mateixa solemnitat, el govern i jo mateix proposem que el Parlament suspengui els efectes de la declaració d'independència per tal que en les properes setmanes emprenguem un diàleg sense el qual no és possible arribar a una solució acordada.
Catalonia has won the right to be independent, Puigdemont says, but suspends an actual declaration and urges Spain to engage in dialogue. There are some doubts about whether independence was actually declared, even for a moment. Reactions are mixed, both outside and inside the parliament. Other MPs and parties speak in reaction to Puigdemont's speech, both condemning a declaration and promising independence. A declaration of independence is signed by pro-independence parties, but it will not come in force until further actions are taken. As people start to leave the parliament, recollections of the suspended Slovenian Declaration of Independence in the 90s are heard.
Yesterday was indeed a remarkable day in Parliament, with more than 1,000 journalists reporting from Barcelona, record figures. Before we go, we leave you with an example of some of the work that our international colleagues did, reporting on events happening here in Catalonia. Thanks for watching, and see you on Friday.
Waiting for Carles Puigdemont to arrive. The police have stood up. The cameras are ready.
Barcelona has found itself at the centre of Europe's attention.
Chiesto ai parlamentari di sospendere gli effetti attuativi del referendum per
feared the consequences of an outright declaration of independence after threats from Madrid.
There's pitched debate there at the moment as to whether the president actually declared independence or not.
En realidad